All right, we are live. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Two No's and a No Clue. After a few episodes, we have been very, very busy. Sabrina, what's been going on?
We've had finals, as you can see now, we are not on the same coasts. I'm on the West Coast. Adam's on the East Coast. Madeline is in New Orleans. So we're all over the place, both mentally and physically.
In the end, we all come together for Survivor. So that's what matters. And I will be back in California at some point.
Yeah.
So we will be good after that. And we're all going to be in Italy.
Yes.
So we could probably work something out there. But
yes, this could continue next season.
I'm excited for that. But let's jump in right here to episode 11, I believe, of Survivor Game Changers. So this was a double boot episode, and we lost Andrea and Michaela. I know, so sad. Both, I think Andrea was a really smart player. She's kind of like the perfect package of Survivor, and you can't let her get to the end.
Yeah.
So, and she's such an immunity threat that I think this is around the right time they should have targeted her.
Yeah, I mean, they've been going for her for the past few episodes. Like, she's gotten a lot of votes, so it wasn't really a surprise. I was still sad to see her go because she is a good player, and she wins, immunity. So she's a good player, like you said, but that's also kind of why she had to go.
Exactly, and I believe the person kind of in the mix there was Culpepper. Like, I think Andrea and Aubry voted out Culpepper. It didn't work, but they tried. Do you think they should have voted out Culpepper or Andrea at that move? Because Brad ends up winning immunity the next day.
Yeah, I think Andrea was the easier one to vote out, I guess, because there were more people who were willing to vote for her. Like, it seems like Brad has a tight three with Ty and Troyzan, whereas Andrea had a little less of a tight alliance with Cirie and those people, so it was easier to say, guys, Andrea's a threat, let's vote her out. Like, I think she was less of an asset to people, whereas for some people, Brad is an asset because he votes with them.
Right, yeah, Brad doesn't really have the power to make any moves. He's kind of on his own, and Sarah utilized that very well in the second half. But what do you think of, I mean, Troyzan, I'm not even going to, like, we heard literally nothing from him. So I really don't know what to think about Troyzan because I know he's doing things. He's still there. He has a hidden immunity idol. He's doing things, but we're not seeing anything because the edit isn't showing any content from him. So I'm assuming he's not going to end up doing anything that impacts the game. I don't think he's going to get to the final three. But, I mean, who knows? Like, he could, because there really isn't any reason to vote him off.
Right, that's what I was saying. Like, when you were talking about, because we messaged before this, and you were talking about, like, who's going to be the final three and who's going to go, it's like, why would you vote out Troyzan at this point? Because he's done so little. Like, I don't know anyone on the jury who would vote for him.
Exactly. I think he's kind of, like, being dragged to the end by Brad. So, like, but then again, since we're not seeing anything, he could be a big jury threat. But, like, we don't know. It's kind of like, I think a good person to compare it to would be like Kimmy, because we saw like nothing from her, but everyone said that if she got to the end she would win, which is so stupid to me, but whatever.
Sort of Troy hasn't made enemies, everyone likes Troy, so we should vote him off now thing.
I think it'll probably be something like that.
And
but,
if he
we don't know.
Idol, like the next vote, if he does something with his idol, then like maybe he becomes more of a threat. Like maybe there's something like, oh, now his good gameplay and makes friends. I don't really see it.
Build him up at the end, and I mean, it won't be believable, but it'll be interesting. So with Troyzan, we also have Brad, who won immunity again. He's safe again, but he probably wouldn't have went home anyway. What do you think about Brad's game right now?
I feel like he was, at least in the edit and also in the gameplay, I think, very strong pre-merge. And then these last few episodes, he's kind of just disappeared. Like, I think he's still playing pretty well. Like, he's managed to not go home. And now he's in the final 6 with a tight 3. Like, that's very big.
Yeah, he's in a good position. After Sarah flipped and screwed up the alliance, they kept calling it, like, the 6 or whatever. After that, he's really been fallen off the radar. I think he just doesn't have a lot to do. You know, he's kind of in the bottom. He's not being told anything, so he can't really make any moves. But I think for the position he's in, he's playing it really well. When Cirie, in the next tribal council, betrays Sarah, Brad is like, don't buy it, Sarah. Like, he got her, you know? He got her to make that move. So he's doing a good job. I'm wondering socially how good he really is, because the edit is trying to paint him as this kind of heroic, good guy. And I'm sure he has some jury votes that are definitely locked in for him. But there are definitely people that don't like him. Michaela doesn't like him, it seems.
Yeah.
So I don't... Yeah, but no one likes her either. So, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he had a lot of, like, strong connections before the merge again. And then since the merge, he hasn't made new alliances. Like, he's kept the ones he had before, and he hasn't betrayed anyone. But he hasn't, you know, gone out of the way to reach Michaela or try to make more people like him.
Yeah, part of me, like...
A lot of new alliances.
Oh, sorry, what'd you say?
Oh, just Sarah's made a lot of new alliances, whereas Brad has kind of just been sitting where he is.
Yeah. He, it's weird, because part of me is like, he's a pretty big threat to take to the finals, because he seems to be relatively likable. He's winning immunity challenges, and he's an underdog. Like, if you let that person get to the finals, they might pull it out. And he has a lot of friends on the jury. He would have Sierra, Debbie, potentially other people who are burned by other people. He's not voting anyone out, really. Like, he's not the ringleader there, so people aren't bitter against him. And he seems to be in a pretty good spot at the final 6 with Troyzan and Ty as his kind of wingmen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he has a shot. I don't think he will win, but if anyone's going to win besides the main contender, it would be him.
Yeah. I think he could win if he also sells himself very well, if he gets to the final 3, and if Sarah doesn't. Because this is also what I was texting you about, but I'm not sure how much people are seeing Sarah's gameplay. Like, I think they saw it that last tribal, but you constantly hear about how Brad's a threat or how Andrea was a threat. And you don't really hear that about Sarah. Like, you heard that about Aubry in the teaser or in the end of the, you know, oh, Ty's comforting Aubry, or that's a threat there. But you're not hearing it about Sarah, which is good for her because it means she'll go farther, but it also means she does have to prove herself. Yeah,
that's true. I mean, a lot of these moves she's making are huge and kind of out there. She's flipping back and forth between alliances. She's using her vote advantage. She literally schemed Cirie, essentially.
Yeah.
She said, here's my advantage. I'm giving it to you. And then when Cirie tries to play it, she's like, you can't do that. Which I thought was, like, crazy. And shame on Cirie for not reading it, too. Like, really?
Yeah, because it seems like Cirie was the one that really looked bad in that scenario, obviously. But, like, some of that is on Sarah for, like, not telling her. Like, it is, you know, all because of Sarah.
Well, I think that was Sarah's motive.
Yeah.
I think that she didn't tell her that because it seems like much more of a trust move. Like, I'm giving you my advantage. And Cirie's like, wow, she really trusts me. She's giving me her advantage.
Yeah.
But Sarah knows it's actually, there's nothing on the line because Cirie can't play the advantage.
Yeah. But it did break some of the trust between the two of them. So I'm not sure.
It gets murky because Cirie stands up and tries to steal Sarah's vote. And it's like, it's so confusing. She didn't want to vote out Sarah. She wants to vote off, I think, Ty was the person she wanted to vote. And then it gets really messy. People get up. It's another like live tribal thing. Everyone's running around trying to figure out. And it ends up being Michaela. And I feel like the editing didn't at all show why. I was so confused.
Like, the only clip I got there was, oh, she asked Brad to go fishing, so we should vote her out. Like, that was kind of all we had this episode for, like, why people disliked her.
It's kind of it seems like a really dumb move. Because basically what I'm assuming happened is you're at the final 7. Cirie makes this move, and Sarah is like, okay, Cirie is trying to vote me out. She's trying to steal my vote and backstab me. I don't trust her anymore. So she knows that Brad, Troyzan, and Ty are desperate, are going to do anything. and the 4 of them are enough. So she goes up to them. She says, let's vote out Cirie's #1 ally who can win challenges. And if any of you flip, you're going to screw yourselves because I have an extra vote. So she guarantees that Ty's going to vote with her because she steals that vote and knows for a fact that it's hers. And she knows Brad and Troyzan are going to do anything to stay alive. So by that point, she's golden.
Yeah. I was wondering if Cirie's plan would have worked. Like if she had actually, if you could have used the advantage that way. Like would that have
go over that? Assume that this advantage is transferable. What happens then?
It's like then I guess the advantage of stealing Sarah's vote over Ty as she painted it was Ty wouldn't play an idol and then Ty would go home.
I feel like he would play an idol. I don't know. No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't because she told him, hey, Ty, I'm going to save you with my vote.
Yeah. So again, she also because it didn't work for her, it kind of looks bad for her in that way too, because now Ty knows that she was kind of, or does Ty know that? I don't know.
Yeah, imagine that though. Like imagine how dirty that would be.
Yeah, but also would have been a good move.
That would have been crazy. That would have been like a top move. She steals Sarah's advantage, uses it against her will, and lies to Ty and backstabs him. That would be like ridiculous.
Yeah. Like I think if it would have worked, it would have been great for Cirie.
Totally. But she didn't
that
use
one
advantage.
Yeah.
Which is like, come on, man. I don't know. I read an article.
Known that in giving away the advantage that Cirie couldn't have played it.
Yeah, I read an article that apparently what went down was Sarah gave her this advantage like a few minutes before they actually voted off anyone. So Cirie didn't really have an opportunity to read it.
Oh, okay.
Sarah's word at face value. So good move on Sarah's part for really sealing that and lying. Sarah's just like, on one hand, she's playing such a great game. Anything she wants to do, she does. There's nothing stopping her. Everyone wants to work with her. But at the same time, everyone who gets voted out is like, oh, Sarah got me. She betrayed me. She used me. Are they going to reward her gameplay or not? I think they were talking about this at one of the tribal councils where Sarah was like, on my season, Tony backstabbed everyone, but he won. So everyone should reward gameplay. That's what I did. And then Aubry's like, well, hello, I lost because everyone voted for the person they liked the most. So that's the interesting debate. What do you think is going to happen here?
I could see within the last, half of the jury, maybe some people being bitter about being voted off. But I also feel like, I don't know, since it is people who play the game and kind of know how it works, there might be some more respect for gameplay there. I also think because of the way Sarah's been playing, she hasn't she's made a lot of connections with people, but none of them are too strong that they'd feel betrayed. I don't know, Sierra might not vote for her for that reason.
Yeah. I was going to say, Sarah said, I love you. I don't know. That's hard.
Yeah. But I'm not sure if anyone else is going to have so much bitterness that they would vote for someone else just because even though Sarah played the best game, they don't want her to win.
Yeah. So Michaela kind of is guilty by association here and just kind of gets voted out.
Yeah.
It's a weird move, though. Do you think that voting out Michaela here was better than voting out Cirie, or no?
I think it might have been easier to get people to vote for Michaela, especially when they were doing things so last minute like that. Because we had that scene with her and Brad, there was clearly friction between Michaela and some people, whereas I think Cirie is more generally likable. And Michaela's name has come up before, so it probably was an easy last minute, okay, we have to vote out someone, let's vote out Michaela.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. What's interesting is that apparently they were all going to vote off Aubry prior to this. That's what I read online. So they wanted to vote off Aubry, but it might have been Ty. It was between them. They weren't quite sure what was going to go on, and then because everyone was going to vote for Aubry, but Cirie had this plan to get out Ty with the vote steal, so it was confusing. Yeah. And I don't think anyone was actually planning on voting out Michaela until this crazy thing, which is why the story couldn't portray that at all. So it was just whoa, what? you know?
Yeah.
And you can't hear what people are whispering, so they can't show that. So it's kind of like, it's kind of tough at that point. So now we're at the final 6. What do you think of the final 6?
I feel like this edit hasn't been great in terms of like half these people on the final 6. I feel like we've barely seen like Troyzan and Aubry. Like we've seen when it's relevant to see them, but besides that, I'm like, I really don't know what they've done this game, which is why it feels like it's so obvious that like the final 3 is going to have like Ty and Brad and probably Sarah, because Cirie's probably going to go before then because we didn't see her at all pre-merge. Like this edit hasn't made me excited for like, wow, my 6 favorite players, the best ones in this game. It's been like, you know, the Sarah and Brad and some other people.
Yeah, 100%. Like, if you look at the final 6 of other seasons, like last season, you have David, Adam, Jay, Hannah and Ken too, who like seemed that they could maybe pull it out. It was a great final 6. You have the season before, you have Aubry, Ty, Sydney, Michelle, who ends up winning, and who is 6th there? Jason, whatever. But like those are very strong contenders, right? Like anyone can win. Going back another season, you have Jeremy, Spencer, Wentworth, Tasha. Like these people can do it. You know what I mean? So I don't quite understand what this is doing, because we know they're not going to let Cirie get to the finals. They'd have to be complete idiots. I don't think that's possible. Troyzan and Aubry we haven't seen anything of, so we know that they can't win. So even if they get to the finals somehow, miraculously, we know they're not going to win. So they're out. So right off the bat, you're down to 3, who I think will be the final 3, like you said.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see Ty, Sarah, and Culpepper as our finals, which isn't bad, but I would have liked a more exciting finale, because I feel like it's very predictable.
Yeah. I mean, I do think there is some question between Culpepper and Sarah of who would win, because Brad's done so little since the merge and Sarah did so little before the merge. Like, I don't think it's entirely clear for either of them. But
yeah, I agree.
Not either of them.
Because if we're looking at the jury, because at that point, then you're putting Aubry, Cirie, and Troyzan on the jury.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Ty's going to get votes too.
Yeah.
Ty's going to get Aubry. He might get Cirie. He could get a few votes. Like, you know, it's not completely going to be a blowout.
Yeah, the only thing about Ty is I think he's very bad at being on the spot and explaining his gameplay. Like, I think he's a better player than he gets credit for. Like, he's had these 2 idols for forever and has so far played them correctly in not playing them.
Yeah, I cannot believe that he didn't play an idol at that tribal.
Yeah.
He must have, I mean, at that point, I guess it's like Sarah gets betrayed. She goes over and tells him, here's what we're going to do. I feel like he's got to feel like he's in a good spot there.
Well, Andy's just done a very good job. Yeah. And no one knows he has the idols, which I think is very big. Because if they knew he did or even suspected, then he'd probably, you know, get more votes and have to play them.
And after that, him not playing one, I feel like no one thinks he has any idols. Mm-hmm. It's like he would have definitely played one at that point, right? Maybe, but like crazy.
I feel like it's been 3 tribals or so. I've been like, why is he not playing his idol? Like, I have been stressed for him. And it's worked out, but
yeah.
You know, if I were
I said the whole time, I thought that he knew what was going on with those, and I guess I've been right. But now we're in a really weird situation. We were talking about this over Messenger. Mm-hmm. So I have a theoretical possibility that could happen here. So in the preview, we saw Ty, Troyzan, and Culpepper talking about making a big move or something, right? Troyzan has an idol and Ty has 2 idols. So if Ty gives his idol to Brad, then the 3 of them can't be voted out. Sarah has this legacy advantage, so she can't be voted out either. If she wins immunity, she decides who gets voted out, effectively, because she can give it to either Aubry or Cirie. And then 5 people are immune at one tribal.
Yeah, that would be crazy. The only thing I wonder is if Ty will say he has 2 idols, or if he'd like say he has 1 and then, you know, to save 1 for himself for next time, if he was feeling comfortable at the next vote. But I think because of how they like foreshadowed it so much with like the three of them plotting with their idols, it definitely could be that he plays both of them, and then, you know, there's everyone immune except for one person. And I think he might do that just because this past episode, he was talking about how like he needs to make a big move and he needs to like show people, you know, how he's playing the game and everything like that. So because of that, I think it definitely could happen, but I'm not sure.
And there's one really interesting thing that I picked up too. He's talking to Aubry and saying, I think I need to make a big move. And Aubry says, I want to get rid of Ty because I think this big move could hurt me. Very weird. So what if Aubry is the one who gets screwed by this crazy advantage Mageddon thing?
Yeah. And the one thing I was talking about also is like Brad has that like clip about how, you know, oh, I don't mind voting him out with his own idol. And I don't think it was clear if whose idol that was. You know, that could have been Ty's or that could have been Troy's.
That's interesting. What do you think that, I don't remember that clip, but.
Yeah, I think it was briefly in there when he was talking about, like after the clip of the three of them, there was talking about voting someone out with their own idol. And I assumed it was Ty. And I was like, oh yeah, Troy does have an idol. So something could happen there if Brad tries to flip, or, though I don't know why he would flip at that point because he's a really solid 3.
Yeah, that would be really dumb. I like at that point, if you know all of them are going to have idols, voting for Ty wouldn't do anything. So I feel like I don't quite understand that. Maybe he'd try to vote him out at the final 5, but I don't think it's in Brad's best interest right now to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think his best move is to take Ty and Troyzan to the finals.
Yeah, because I think he could probably beat them.
Yeah, I don't think Brad's going to beat
his.
Yeah, he could maybe beat Sarah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to beat Cirie, and I don't think he's going to beat Aubry.
Mm-hmm.
He might not even beat Ty, but I feel like that's his best shot.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he could potentially beat Aubry because I'm not entirely sure what she's done this season. Like, I still think she's a good player, but we haven't seen her orchestrating things. I know you really like her as well, but
yeah. No, maybe Brad could.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Like, I'm reading a lot of these like exit interviews, and people seem to be pretty high on Aubry. Mm-hmm. So I don't know about that.
Everything except the edit is high on Aubry.
Yeah, and I think I know why. I think I know why the edit is shielding that, because they don't want us to be that upset when she gets screwed by this weird twist.
Yeah, that's been my big problem with this edit, is that it's like they don't want to give us a big letdown. Like, you know, Cirie is this huge player and everyone's really excited to see her. And like, she's in the final 6. Like, I feel like I should be so pumped about that right now. Like, Cirie made final 6, and I'm like assuming she's just not going to make it because we didn't see her at all before the merge. And
yeah, you know she won't, just because of like the way things are happening.
Yeah.
And Sarah's just obnoxious edit, how everything revolves around her and how everyone's like, she's such a big threat, she's going to win. It's like kind of, I don't see how she can't now. Mm-hmm. I think the only way she doesn't is if this is the story of her just screwing everyone over to the point where they're so bitter that they're going to vote for like Ty or Brad. That's like the only scenario I could see.
Yeah, I mean, she is getting a bit of a villain edit with her whole, like, oh, I'm going to play like a criminal and, like, backstabbing people. So I could see it being a sort of Russell type thing where she gets to the final 3 and doesn't get too many votes because people don't respect that. But I think she's done it better, or in a way that will make fewer enemies than Russell did. So I think she could still win. But I do think there is a question.
Yeah, she's definitely playing a better game than Russell because, I mean, Russell was mean. He was so mean. She's not mean. She's just betraying people, but she's not being vicious.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like Spencer. I would compare it to Spencer because but this didn't work out for him. He was everyone's friend. He was playing kind of that middle spot, was flipping a lot, and people were really angry at it. And he's sitting there next to Jeremy, who didn't really do that.
Yeah.
So I don't think Jeremy did as much, really. I don't know. Like, that's debatable, but he ends up getting all of the votes. Are we going to see the same thing here?
Yeah, I think that is a very good comparison. Like, obviously it's a different jury, but in terms of like the gameplay and what each of them have done, like being more likable but doing fewer moves, or doing a bunch of moves but kind of making some enemies with that.
Yeah, it's like Aubry too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so are we going to get a repeat? I don't think so, because I feel like the story has been like, big moves win the game. You got to make a big move, blah, blah, blah. It would be a little weird if they punished the person who made big moves.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be pretty hypocritical and stupid. So, like, I don't really know. But then again, you know, like, Sarah is screwing people over left and right.
Yeah, and it is more of a season that's like promoting big moves in terms of adding these new advantages and being the game changer season than players that have been promoting the big moves. Like, you know, a lot of people have just been kind of sitting with their block and voting when they can with the advantage. Like, they haven't been doing that many big moves. So I could see the jury going against that sort of edit of the season and not rewarding the big moves.
Yeah, totally. I think now might be a good time to, because this is our last podcast before the end. We'll probably discuss the finale, obviously.
Yeah.
Madeline said she will be on as well, so it'll be the three of us for talking about the finale.
We gotta bring her back.
Yeah, we got to bring her back. So we are guessing. We have the same guess that our final three is going to be Sarah, Ty, and Brad.
Yeah.
So if this is the final three, then you're putting Aubry, Cirie, and Troyzan on the jury.
Mm-hmm.
So with that jury, who wins? Because I was thinking about it, and I wrote this out.
Yeah.
Troyzan's going to vote for Brad.
Mm-hmm.
Cirie could vote for Sarah or Ty.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which one. Aubrey's probably going to vote for Ty. Michaela's probably going to vote for Ty. So Ty's getting votes. Andrea's probably going to vote for Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Sierra's probably going to vote for Brad because Sarah screwed her. Zeke is going to vote for Sarah. Debbie's going to vote for Brad. So, like, it's really close.
Is she going to vote for Brad?
Who?
Debbie, is she going to vote for Brad?
100%.
Why do you think that?
Because they had the middle finger. She gave Sarah the middle finger.
But she could vote for Brad.
I would be willing to bet my life savings that if Brad is sitting there, Debbie's going to vote for him.
Just because there was that whole, like, blow up, you know, before the merge.
And then you have Haley and Ozzy, who I don't know. They could vote for Ty. Ozzy would probably vote for Ty, right?
I could see that.
Ty beat him in the challenge. He's like, respect, you know?
Yeah.
So
I think them being some of the ones that would actually listen to the final tribal and make votes based on that.
Yeah, that's true too. And Ty's pretty bad at that. So very interesting.
Ty won.
A super close vote. But I feel like I say it every time.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Like, I feel like I say, like, oh, Aubry will probably win against Michelle by this many. Like, you know, I usually am kind of wrong about this stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Who do you think is your ultimate winner pick from the final six?
I feel like you have to say Sarah, but like part of me has this weird gut feeling that they're trying to pull one on us, and it's going to be like Brad.
Yeah, I kind of want to say Brad just because of the jury. Like, I feel like the edit has been so Sarah heavy, it seems wrong to not say her, but I'm just not sure if, like, she'll get a majority of the jury votes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Because then if Brad has to, if Troyzan gets voted off, oh man, I'm going to say Sarah just because I don't want to feel stupid. Yeah.
You
know what I mean? But yeah, Brad could win too.
Yeah. And Ty and Brad could kind of split the votes of the people who don't want to vote for Sarah, you know? Like people who don't want to vote for someone who's making big moves but voting them out. Like they could get, you know, half of the votes between the two of them and she could get the other half, and that could be how she wins.
Okay, so let's talk about really fast. If you could pick anyone to win, who would you want to win, and who would be your dream final three?
From the six or from the
from the six.
Oh, Cirie. I love Cirie, and I think she's a great player, and I think she needs to win one of these days. But obviously, like, the edit before the merge, she just wasn't there. So that's why I don't think she will. But I would love it if she won.
And who would you want to be in the final 3 with her?
Cirie, well, like Troyzan, because I think anyone can beat Troyzan. Maybe, I don't know. Like Ty or Aubry, I feel like are the 2 left. And I want to say Aubry, which I know like you're going to disagree with. Like Aubry will win everything, of course. But
I think Cirie would beat Aubry.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I want Aubry to win.
My dream would be literally everyone who we haven't said is going to make final 3.
Would Ty beat Aubry? Maybe, right?
Yeah. Because he has idols. And maybe is going to play them interestingly next vote.
Yeah, I feel like if it weren't for the edit, this could be pretty unpredictable.
Yeah.
I feel like the edit has been so dumb that it's so obvious that it's making me like actually annoyed. I think that this season is much worse than the last 3 seasons. It sucks because it's such a good cast too.
Well, I feel like this season we haven't seen people be generally as excited to play the game as we have the past few seasons. Like there have been more people who are here probably because they'll get interviews and that are just more tired and less excited. And it could just be also the living conditions are a bit worse. But I don't know, like when Aubry won immunity this season, I was like, wow, that's the most excited I've seen anyone be to play this game. A lot of like rumbling and like bitterness.
Cochran's been more in the season than Troyzan.
Yeah.
Honestly. He may have more confessionals than Troyzan. I actually kind of want to look at this. I don't think he said anything tonight. I don't know. But yeah, very interesting stuff here. Like it could be an interesting finale. It could be a surprise. I don't think it will, but you never know. You never know. I'm really hoping it's some like what the hell thing that goes on. Yeah.
I think the next vote will be interesting with all of the advantages and idols that have to be played at some point.
I think Final 6 is going to be a little bit weird. I can see a lot of people being, well, here's the question. If Aubry is screwed by this weird advantage thing that we're speculating, she has to be one of like the best players to not win, right?
Twice.
Yeah. Like 2-time player to never win because like she didn't do anything to get voted off. It would be like completely random.
Yeah.
She like people are going to say like, oh, she would have won if blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
So that's maybe why they're trying to downplay her.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Is there any like last final thing you kind of want to talk about?
I don't think so. I think we covered it.
Yeah, I think we covered everything. So we'll be back next week.
Yeah.
Talking about the finale. And I'm really curious to see if like this thing that I'm speculating is going to happen.
Yeah.
But it very well couldn't. Like who knows? So we'll see. Anything can happen now. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
This has been a great season, and I am sorry that I have been personally busy. And I know Sabrina has also been very busy as well. So we will try to do next season and be more on top of it. But I still had a lot of fun doing this throughout the season. It's been like a really fun experience.
Yeah.
To have an outlet to just like discuss this stuff.
Listen to our ramblings.
Yeah, it's cool. And now we have them all here on YouTube, so we can, go back and listen. That's what's really cool.
We'll show our children one day.
Yeah, exactly. When I win Survivor in a few days. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for watching, and we will be back next week for the finale. Woo!